Unbinary is a VR puzzling adventure game that is entirely hand-painted using the Quill application. The developers were wonderful enough to provide me with a MetaQuest copy of the game, and so that will be the version I'm reviewing. It's available on the Quest 1 and 2, along with Steam VR. Of course, though, this will not influence my opinion on the game in any way. First off, you cannot discuss a game like Unbinary without first bringing up its art style. I truly can't imagine the amount of strenuous labor that was required for it to look this spectacular. Some might be turned off by the comic book-esque look, but I very strongly disagree. In many games, the world feels static, stale, and constructed methodically without love. Unbinary feels alive. It feels carefully constructed with love. Its many locations were beyond a treat to look at, and it helped to fuel my enjoyment of the game. While the actual rooms themselves are extremely white and most of it is very dull, the game purposefully institutes splashes of color that pop out. This effect leads to a very vibrant game with a unique personality. I swear, some of the animations in particular were so perfectly executed, it was mind-blowing. Due to the limitations of the Quest platform, many developers simply lower the textures of a game and try to shove it out, and it ends up becoming a half-baked mess. However, Ludact, the developers of Unbinary, opted for a much smarter approach. They played to the Quest's strengths and delivered a great-looking title with the most unique art style out of any VR game I have honestly ever played. I can confidently say that. A game isn't made on its art style though, and it really boils down to the gameplay, story, and the overall enjoyment it brings to the table. Story-wise, I think they nailed it. The voice acting on Webby, the very talkative AI who is with you during the game, is near flawless. Never once have I found her to be annoying or dislikable throughout the game, and that's something a lot of games struggle with.
I can't wait for this to be over. First, create a test environment. Okay, let's go.
I don't want to spoil any of the story details or anything like that, but rest assured it's a fun, engaging story with more depth than you would initially expect. In terms of gameplay, it really comes down to your personal tastes. Like for me, I'm not a fan of puzzlers unless they're in VR. I absolutely adore well thought out VR puzzling titles, and so Unbinary is right up my alley. But if you don't enjoy VR puzzlers, then this game is probably not for you. Throughout it, you'll be switching between different robot identities in order to traverse a wide array of levels. Switching between robots is a great mechanic that's well executed for sure, but I do feel like it could have been expanded upon. There's only 3 masks, but again, it was one of those great concepts that you always want to see more of. The puzzles themselves were typically really fun and well thought out. The level design wasn't confusing, and it was solid. Given the art style, it was pretty easy to discern what needed to be done and whatnot. I also loved the look of these robots, like come on, it's just such a unique look. At this point, it's iconic to me. Comfort-wise, you got standing and seating options along with teleportation and continuous joystick movement. Love the option, such a smart idea that every VR developer should include. My only comfort-related complaint is that there are some climbing scenes in the game, and a way to automatically teleport up there would be nice. I was thinking something akin to Half-Life Alyx's approach. Again, I just think giving people the option would be a pretty cool thing to do. So the main thing that Unbinary comes down to is puzzles. Most are very clever, have some really unique mechanics, and they fit in thematically. If you like puzzling games, you're gonna undoubtedly enjoy it. I love VR puzzlers, and this now feels like a quintessential puzzler on the Quest platform. With a proper puzzler, you feel like you go on an adventure. Unbinary absolutely captures that essence of an adventure as you go on an exciting, innovative, science fiction escapade. The developers say that the game takes around 3 hours to beat, and I reported a very similar time. It really depends on how fast or slow you complete the puzzles, but I'd say 3 hours is a pretty good estimate. For many, that might sound too short, but it was a very dense, powerful game that made fantastic use of its 3 hours. So for me, I think the time was just right. All in all, what I'm really trying to say here is that Unbinary is an artistic, science fiction, adventure puzzler that I had a blast playing. I really recommend it. Another big thanks to Ludact for providing me with a free copy of the game.